From Bali, Dr. Susan Spillman here. Today I want to do another video about feelings and releasing some feelings that are getting in the way of our life here while we're dealing with this coronavirus situation. And first I want to just comment about feelings. So what I'm doing is helping you release feelings, and of course releasing them for myself, that are getting in our way. It's not that we're releasing feelings or that feelings are bad. Okay, I just want to make this really clear, that feelings really keep us in touch with ourselves, with what's important to us, and so they help us with our own life. But when they get excessive, when suddenly the feelings are controlling our life, then this, in my view, becomes a problem. It's something that is excessive. And that's really the purpose of these releases that I'm doing. Not to get rid of the feelings, but to release the feelings that are getting in our way of enjoying our life, being present to what's actually happening, that kind of thing. Okay? Okay. So today I want to talk about grief and powerlessness. I think many of what the feelings that people have now are related to grief. So as you know, grief has many different facets. Part of it is denial. The first part is denial. Me, not me. I'm not grieving about anything. Okay, that's the first one. And then usually it goes to anger. And anger is a big part of grief that often is mistaken. We don't identify it as grief, but the grief is related to loss. So anytime you're feeling loss, so this can be loss of your job, loss of income, loss of contact with other people, with physical contact with other people, all of these kinds of things are likely to bring up grief. Although we don't often identify it as grief, we identify it as something else, sad, angry, that kind of thing. So today I want to focus a little bit more on grief, and powerlessness seems to be related to grief in that it is, again, a loss. We've lost our sense of power to control our lives. There are many rules now for many of us that, of what we can do and can't do, and that are being reinforced by police and that kind of thing. So we've often lost our sense, for some of us, we've lost our sense of power. And again, this is related to grief, or it can be, let me put it that way. I mean, there are no fast rules about this. So what I'd like you to do today is to pay attention to yourself, your own feelings, and I'm going to release some of the issues around grief and powerlessness, but you can see if this fits for you. And if it doesn't, then just pick another feeling. It doesn't matter really what the feeling is. This game and this process that I do is good for any feeling. So you can identify for yourself what fits for you. And then we'll go from there. I'm going to work on the grief one myself because I'm more aware now that that's part of what's going on for me. I wasn't really aware of this before. It didn't register for me. But now I can see that some of the loss, and for me the loss really has to do with physical contact with other people. And it's not as severe as some people who are in serious isolation. We're not in isolation here. So I have some contacts with other people. But some people really are very isolated and don't have the usual contacts they have. And so what is helpful about this is that often it's bringing up things that we weren't really aware of in the past. We weren't aware of, for example, how important physical relationships and physical interactions, I guess is the right word, physical interactions are. Often we haven't been so aware of that, and now we get more and more aware of that. So part of this is, of course, to help us become more aware of our own feelings, our own situation, and to see what we can get out of this situation. Okay, so now I want to focus, as I said, on powerless and grief. And what I'd like you to do is check in with yourself to see what feelings you're feeling. So it may be related to powerlessness and grief, or it may not be. It may be other feelings. And I'm just going to add anger and sad in here, since these are big parts of grief. Anger and sad are parts of the grief. So grief, powerless, sad, and angry. Okay, and those of you who have done this before know how we do this. We do an energy release over the top of the head, over the guiding meridian. So it helps release the energy. So we're releasing the energy around these feelings. Okay, so if you'll follow me, and again, pick whatever one works for you. Check in with yourself. Where in your body are you holding these feelings? Where do you hold them? I hold them usually in my chest and my heart. Yeah, and that's where they are today. And my grief, I would say, is maybe a 3 today. The other day when I was thinking about this, it was a 5. So I've released a little bit of it already. So if you'll follow me, starting between the eyebrows at the third eye here and over the top of the head, okay, I fast track and release all grief that I'm holding in my body and in my mind. I release all powerlessness, feeling powerless, all sad, and all angry related to this situation with the virus and any other situation that's relevant for me. I allow myself to let go of these parts of feelings that are not useful to me, that are keeping me stuck and keeping me discouraged. I give myself permission to let these go. I forgive myself for holding on to any of these feelings, and I forgive all others who have anything to do with this. Now. Okay. So similar to what we've done in the past, I want you just to check in for yourself now and see how you feel. So I'm going to check in for myself and see. Okay. Well, I released a little bit of anger and grief. Not much, okay, for me. Not much. Mine's maybe a 2 now. It was a 3. So just check in for yourself where you are with that. And we'll do that again, okay? So we're going to do this one more time, similar to these cards here. Grief, powerless, angry, and sad. I fast track and release all remaining grief and powerless, angry and sad from my body, my mind, and my life. I allow myself to release these as much as I can right now, and more going forward. I forgive myself for holding on to these, and I forgive others. Now. Okay. I could feel that one a little bit more. So mine's down to a 1. And just again, check in for yourself, whatever the feelings were that you're releasing. Okay? And then the next part of this is what would be helpful to release this more. And again, if we're doing this live, you would be able to pick your own cards, but I've picked supported, listen to, and friend. So these would be helpful for me, and I think for many other people. Okay, so we're going to do this again. I fast track and release all remaining grief, powerless, sad, and angry from my body, mind, and life. Sorry, we'll have to continue this. My battery is going out. Okay.